Welcome back to the Royal Complex here in Colombo. It's a cloudy day and the turf underfoot nice and soft, perfect for rugby. And as we see, it's been a very, very scrappy game with the legendary Hisham Abdin. Nice to see him on screen, my good mate, telling Isipathana what we have to do in the next 35 minutes. Let's listen to the audio.
What great analysis by Hisham Abdin. Words of inspiration by Hisham Abdin to the Isipathana side.
Words of wisdom, and of course these lads feeling and feeding on every word. Very clear title for him. Get there, play in that half. Don't give anything away, cut the mistakes out. Wonderful advice from such a great rugby player, Ravi. I mean, it's nice to see the lad. Let's have a look at the replays now. We just had the privilege of listening to Pathana and their coach sharing some very useful information. Roy would love to get that, I'm sure, but here we go. Here's that first try, under pressure, nice maul, Ajit.
That's great, mauling there, and sort of a rolling maul, but he comes off the edge there with a great body angle. That was the secret. He really crept up from the back and used the rest of the forwards as a shield and came through beautifully at the end.
And then his elder brother getting the 2 points there. So Hassan scored.
But really,
let's have a listen to the audio.
So let's get ourselves organized and play rugby. It's okay. Come on.
Let's play rugby. And that's what it's
Fine Ari there, all the way from sunny Australia, imparting words of wisdom. And here's the other replay of this
try of the season
try.
Coming up here as the number 11 offloads beautifully. And what a run! Look at his legs. Look at his angle of the body and all that. It's perfect. And it ran like an arrow straight through.
Absolutely. And the angle to the corner flag was a secret, really. And here's some of the wrestling that went on at the earlier part of the game. Really hard. Both teams gutsing it out, not giving anything away. And that's probably why it's been such a scrappy affair. Because both teams here, look at this. Dimitri Siriwardena. Nice bet. You can't do that on the cricket pitch, but you can do it here on the rugby arena. Lovely take. These are some of the highlights of the best bits that you saw in the first half. If you missed it in the first half, where the hell have you been? This is Sirisa Live, referee Rankot Gay, having a good encounter so far. We've had a little bit of story to tell on him, but the fact of the matter is, 7 plays 8. That's really hard to imagine when you consider that both these sides are unbeaten. And I expected more points on the board, Ajit.
Yes, the way it started, it looked like it was going to be a great game of entertaining rugby. But I tell you that in terms of inspiration and zeal and commitment, there has been no let-up.
Definitely, it has been a hard game, Ajit, from the beginning. And I think both sides are going to give out their best in the second half to come out winners.
Yep, true. Let me just run through the royal card again, just in case you missed it if you're joining us for the first time. Charmika Gamage, Manilabe Ratna, Bilal Hassan, Umesh, Korala Gamage, Dimitri Siriwardena, Riyal Refai, Gaishan Vijay Singh, Sajid Balage, Dhiren Vikram Varnakula Surya, Ramiz Rafiq, Omar Hassan, Kavin the Virakon, Isru Jatalaka, Suvinda Lenadua, Ishara Pereira, Naren Dahasan, and then the lineup Asif Hassan, Ratnaika, Rajapaksa, Puncheva, Gunawardena, and Hafil Fariz. That is a royal squad. First 15.
Gunawardena is a third generational player. Ravi, grandfather played in the 1950s. Norman Gunawardena, his father played in the 1976 famous side with unbeaten side, coached by Malik Samarikram, I believe, in 1976.
It was Suma Navaratnam and Malik Samarikram.
And now this is the third generation of Gunawardenas. That's fantastic, having rugby players right through. Right?
The Royal Treaty has been having that tradition, Ajit, the play of our grandfather's son. Legacy continues.
The ways of our fathers, I think, is what we're on about. And there's the two principals, Sia De Silva, Malik Samarikram. We were just talking about that. And of course, the two principals from both schools. And Chairman Hemakaram Surya of Singer Sri Lanka Limited. And what I think we are labeling him already. We're calling him Sri Lanka's #1 rugby fan for what Singer does for rugby in this country. Here's that line out. Good take. Hands. Siriwardena takes it on. Takes the ball now. Oh! Costly mistake. Pressure coming in. Was that a knock forward from the Pathana line? Turnover ball. Pathana. What's he going to do with the ball? Number 10 runs the wrong option. Should have passed, should have offloaded, didn't spin the ball wide. But they have another chance. Third phase coming up. Oh, up and under. Hunt this. Pressure well taken by the Royal 14.
What a catch. That's a tremendous catch by the Royal 14.
Under pressure, that was immense
But
catch.
they should have never kicked that ball away. They had numbers. They had everybody lined up for a great phase of play. And that's costly when you give away something like that, Chandra.
Hisham would have been kicking himself in more directions, and he can't imagine a ball like that. When you get good clean ball, you have Royal under pressure on their own line, you don't put the ball up. Here's the catch coming in from the number 15 as the number 15 is Ishara Pereira. Well done, lad. Good catch. Well marked.
Great catch after taking his eyes off the ball, Sean, for a couple of seconds.
Well, yes, I think somebody just said yes, yours, mine, because you know how it happens underneath the pressure. Oh.
Look forward.
Very unclean there at the back. And a penalty given to Royal College.
Offside.
That was
Number 8.
he handled the ball from offside position, Sean. That was the flank. Is
Very clear, yes.
Playing advantage.
I think he completely forgot where he was. He just thought, goodness, I got a chance to take this and run. No chance, mate. Here you come back. Hassan, big boot up the park. Not finding touch, guilty. Pathana, not late. I think it was fair. But the referee says no. Let's have a look at the replay.
I think the thing there, Kanaka, you're doing a bit of refereeing. You don't go for a tackle or a kick. I think that may be why it's not a late.
You always do in a late tackle. There is no excuse in this side.
He knew the player was going to kick. That's Gaishan that tried to make some case for him. Because the player came out second worse as well.
No, this is the third time. No. Please, dog him, sir. No, this is the third time, brother. The third time, huh?
Yes, I think the skipper was saying, sir, please, sir, but then the referee you heard very clearly saying, this is the third time, mate. I've got to pull that yellow card under my very tight pocket.
That is a very worthy plea. It should be in the Shakespeare team.
Good drama.
That's the captain has to do that part. Sean is part of his role.
Hey, that's a good story, mate, but it doesn't work all the time. It's part and parcel of the referees or the captain's brief is to be able to plead with the referee at all stages and call him sir on every occasion, even when he's not listening.
He looked as if he was about to cry. Kanaka, you have been a Shakespeare man. What do you say about that?
There you go, mate. Here you go.
Well, he would have done pretty well if he was representing Shylock or somebody.
His pound of flesh.
Antonio, his pound of flesh. But I'm afraid Porsche is not going to come through on this one. Gaishan trying to be the mediator but failing miserably. And I think that was a deserved yellow card. So Isipathana will want to capitalize on this one-man advantage that they have. They have to score at this point.
Yes, indeed. Punish would be the story from Isham Abdin to his lad. Punish the fact that you got 14 on the park, but it sometimes works the other way.
Shanak, but why don't you think it's a little harsh because the tackler was almost on the body of the kicker. So sometimes he doesn't see when the
Tommy!
Don't you think it's a little too
You can't dummy the ball!
We'll get back to that, Ravi. It was delaying in the throw. So referee Rankov very correctly gives a free kick to Royal, which was a silly mistake by Isipathana who had the
Terrible
advantage.
mistake. Oh,
Hurry up!
unbelievable. What's he waiting for so long?
Yeah, great position.
Tackle him!
Right, the 22-meter line, and he dummied the throw. That's what happened.
Don't move!
Kicking out of trouble. The mark is probably called, or has it been? No. That's Wadnakula Surya. Nice hit up. But I think he loses the ball in the tackle. Yes, he does. Turnover.
Back!
Here's Pathana trying to secure ball now. The big boy takes it. Tries to run the short side. Sets it up now.
Number 1!
Royal has not been successful in retaining that ball many a times today, Hajit. This has been one of the weaknesses for them to attack.
I think they are over-enthusiastic. They are really hitting the man hard, and I think they're not controlling themselves on the hit. There should be a certain amount of composure in the tackle. You got to win your
and
tackle.
Also,
and
Ajit,
they're
you
just
see,
letting themselves loose.
but you could see Ajit, the Isipathana falls was a very quick very quick to pounce on that ball, and I think you need to see whether they are coming from the correct position. This is something which some of the referees do not really see, but some of the senior referees are really onto it. Especially Dilroy was very quick on that during the Clifford Cup finals.
By instinct, Isipathana goes for anything on the ground, and here we see again Royal being penalised.
For not getting touch.
And what is he going to pull out this time, Shanaka?
Captain.
Well, you have to have a bit of sympathy for the Royal players, but the fact is they're doing it far too often. As we look at the replay here, once again he could have pulled out. I think he really could have pulled out. Like you said, Ajit, they're concentrating on the man and not on the ball.
Why you going tackling the without ball man? No, you can't do that. No, why?
Oh, not a bright boy. You don't try to tell the referee how to play the game. You're gone, son. Goodbye.
This is the second time
Yellow
you did.
card.
No, don't say sorry. This is the second time. No excuse, right? This is the second late tackle. No excuse.
You're off the park,
Oh
man.
my. 13 plays.
Terrible error on part of the player. Ajit trying to tell the referee that he was trying to indicate the kicking. That you don't do.
Either they do not know the rule, or they are just being careless in this, because they have done it 5 times in this game, Ravi. I'm sorry to
Exactly.
say this to you, but they have been repeating this far too often.
That's what you've got to look at as well, Ravi. Like you said, your point earlier, it's been a repeated offence, and they're not going for the charge down. They're not going to the kicker's foot. They're going for his body, and that's something the referee has to look
Hitting
at.
the man, Ravi, is always allowed to a point, but this is just going beyond that point.
Agreed, Shan, but you see what Royal had done. They have put
Ravi, you're going to defend yourself. I know,
I'm not
man.
going to
Whatever
defend
I
this.
say.
I'm not going to defend this, Shan. I'm going to admit the mistake and see what the Royal put their situation into. They have
It is the second time.
2 players minus. There are just 13 people in the park, and they are going to defend 15 Isipathana hungry lads.
Now
It's
they
going to be a
need
tough
to.
situation.
Isipathana will punish the factor, but Royal College need to compose themselves, and I'm sure Coach Paonari will be absolutely livid, Ajit.
Yes, I think he'll be really upset about this little bit of play by Royal, but
Let's
Royal
see.
not giving here. They're going to take the fight to Isipathana, and that's the spirit that Royal needs to show here. They are not going to let it overcome them. They are going to fight hard, and this is great play by Royal, and
That's
this
it.
is tremendous spirit. 13 plays 15, and yet Royal on the attack right now.
Hassan into space. Pathana have a go again. Look at that. Gets away from 1. Gets away from 2. Great pressure. Good passage of rugby. Turnover time. Offside.
What you were
Isipathana
talking
now.
about, what you were talking about earlier, Ravi, entering the ruck from the wrong side. Isipathana with the quick tap, and we've seen quite a bit of this quick tap being taken in this game. Now they've got a good chance to score. They've got numbers on the outside.
But are they conscious of this fact? That's what I want to know. Have they actually made their mind up that they're playing against 13? That's something they need. Oh dear, oh dear. Now this is unforgivable stuff from the Pathana lads, because when you have the ball, you got 13 on the other side. You need to huddle a little and work out what you're going to do with that ball.
It's a simple arithmetic, Shan. You got to see that there has to be a gap in the field somewhere. Where is the gap? They got to calculate that and work it towards that.
They didn't do it this time, Ajit, so obviously they'll do it the next time, hopefully. But this is the skipper's responsibility to get the message across to his lads.
If there's a scrum for Isipathana, it's going to be very dangerous for Royal, because they'll have only 6 in the pack. The 2 backs are out, and this is the arithmetic they got to work out. Now,
How does it work, Ajit? Does Isipathana sacrifice 2 players out of the pack?
Yeah, they'll have to do that, because there'll be huge gaps in the field. But that means you take your flankers off, and if Isipathana does get a scrum where they put the ball in, then obviously they run it around the corner or run it around the edge.
That's a logic factor, but is this scrum contested or not?
The scrum is
No, the props
contested,
are there.
Sean. It just has to be contested by an equal number of players.
All right, so there you go, the facts of life in the rugby story, the big rule book. And we won't talk about rules and Darrell here. There we go. There's the big boy.
No
on his
support
own.
for this
Nobody
man.
there. What is Pathana doing? Oh, the big cutout pass. Yes, the man on the outside. People there. Easy try. The number 12. Damit Chaturanga using that advantage, getting on the post, just as you were saying.
It had to happen. They knew where the gaps were, and they've plugged it beautifully. This is a good intelligent play by Isipathana. Good composure, no panic, and they've calculated it. They worked it out beautifully.
They've used that long pass to good effect. They used it in the first minute of play, and now knowing that the Royalists are going to be stretched for cover, great inside pass once again, this time by the number 14 instead of the 11, and once again it's the inside that scores Chaturanga. It was 11 to 13 last time, it's 14 to 12 this time. That creates the tries. Two very good three-quarter tries scored by Isipathana.
Beautiful play, I did absolutely cardinal copybook stuff.
Very good. I really do feel for the Royalists. They're down 2 men. They're playing their hearts out here, and they're no giving in. They're putting their body on line here, but something had to give, Ravi.
Yeah, Ajit, there are two players minus, but in that situation there was opportunity for that last line of defense to tackle, but you could see that the player was guilty of missing that tackle and allowing that number 12 to go through. So anyway, Royal have made mistakes, and now they should be regretting for those serious errors, and this is something young players should learn. They should not be over enthusiastic and make silly mistakes which will be a detriment to their side in a special game like Royal Isipathana.
Absolutely. Good advice, but of course the score is now 13-7. We're just 15-7. We have 48 gone, so we just got a little bit more time on the clock. There's plenty of time for Royal College. Here's a try replay from the other angle. Nice, good balance. Saw the outside, good handoff. Very well scored by Dimitri there, or is it Damit?
Chaturanga, I believe it was, Sean. These two insides for Isipathana. The midfield looks very good runners. As you see, a terrible mistake off the pass from the ruck. But referee Ranko, they're trying to play advantage. They bring it back for that knock-on. And I think Isipathana can afford to make a couple of mistakes now. But I was going to tell you earlier, Ravi, not to look so dismal, because in 2002, the All Blacks were held by a 13-man England. And so numbers really don't have too much to do with it if you have the heart.
True, but it's only in format play. It's only in the scrums and the line-out they really get hammered. Open play, of course, the half comes out in no uncertain terms. There you go, they're shouting, they know where it is, but unfortunately, it's in the middle, lads, that you've got to sort it out.
I think one of the problems with school, well, not the problem, but one of the differences in the rules is that you've got to take, Isipathana had to take 2 players out of their scrum there, which means you've got 2 players on the outside to form the overlap, whereas in international rugby you don't need to do that, as we see the ball being dropped again. And once more scrappy play as the fullback recovers. This is the number 11, the left wing. The ball is turned over once again, a very good pick up by the flanker, and Isipathana will clear their lines and try to play the game in Royal's half once again.
Isipathana being successful in those loose balls, Shan, they have been able to get it back from the Royal forwards. This has been another reason for Royal have been unable to retain this position in the loose play, and they have been losing possession at the critical moments.
Absolutely, I mean that ball, they should have picked it up and gone. I don't know what Royal were thinking, because nobody was looking. And Patana now get a chance again. They're going to shift it wide and keep the play in the opponent's half, which is sensible play from them, because they don't really need to keep the ball in their half. As Hisham was telling them, get into Royal territory and stay there.
That's exactly what has been that Isipathana has been successful in doing. Royal have been contributing to that factor by making crucial mistakes in an attacking situation, and they seem to be a little nervous or unsteady, and it has created situations for Isipathana to get back into Royal territory.
So it's 15-7 here at Karambo in the Royal Stadium. We are seeing Isipathana leading 15-7. Royal down to 13 men also at the same time. So they got a real fight in their hands, but they are playing on gamely. Great spirit shown by some of the Royal players here. There are no giving in, but I think it's the enthusiasm that cost them the game if they lose it. But here again we see Royal cleverly taking this maul right up. That's a great rolling maul. Aggressive.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff, Ajit. Yes. And that's really the requirement from Royal College. Yes. Suck everybody in, keep it close, don't let the ball go wide, and keep Patana busy, occupy them close in. Here's what they're doing. Now, a chance. What will they do? Down the park, Hassan again. Hasn't been successful, but he is successful this time. So at that time, they did what the doctor ordered. And if they can do this, they will nullify the fact that they're playing with 13. They need to maintain possession.
Not late in the day,
Maul
Sean.
coming up again, Ravi. That's a great rolling maul. Very tight. The forwards are well bound. Great skill here. Ball being hit right at the back. And a bit of aggression there. And the Royal guys are really not giving in.
Yeah, Ajit, not late in
Could
the
have
day.
cost that guy another penalty.
Absolutely. Good discipline, but you can't push somebody just for the sake of it, mate. You've got to try and play him off the ball. And that was the number 22 who's on the park. That's, well, he's just come on. Let's see, he's playing a scrum half. We'll try and get the number on that lad.
Isipathana put
Good
in.
aggression. Patana now. Ball in there 22 to get out of jail. Nice kick down the park. Easing pressure. Royal College, well, the only one try really in that 13 plays 15 factor. And it could have easily been more, but Patana now will have to utilize the time quickly because they are not very conscious of the time factor. These players are off the park. Advantages will very quickly disappear. Here's Hassan with the ball. Good take.
Royal without two of the key players, Sean, that will both of them in the pack.
Here's Varnakula Surya having good game. Nice game. He hasn't given up anywhere short. Miss pass. Boom. Missed. The 22 takes it in. And that is Rujai Tilaka. Patana guilty. Now here's a chance for Royal to take time, get the ball down the park. Yes. Good option. Well called. That's the way to suck up time. Here's a replay, the cutout
Good
pass.
distribution there. And the great ball retention here. Stay on your feet till your forwards come around you. Then you can go down. It's okay to go down there. And if the longer you hold the ball, the greater chance there is for you to get a penalty. And that's exactly what happens here. Forwards need to know that you keep the ball with you, you do the rolling maul, and you're bound to get a penalty or somebody's offside down the line somewhere.
Very true. Good sensible rugby from Royal College. And there's the ball, nice and clean.
Scoring opportunity for Royal, Sean, but I think the Owls and Coyotes are all out to disturb the kicker.
A lot of animals at the park today. Let's see. Does he have the legs? Oh, desperately short. I think young Hassan there just slipped. Just he was getting to the ball. So costly. Very costly. A lot of aggression. Trying to get it right is young Varnakula Surya saying, listen lad, catch the thing and then we'll see the story unfold. Very good advice, but a little aggressive in the delivery, but they are keen, they're aggressive, they're very keen to get it right on the day, Ajit.
Yes, they are all fired up. They have not given in. They are just going back at the Isipathana players all the time. They are encouraging one another and in their own style. And we see some distribution here by Hassan. And there's a loose forward in play here.
Hands up, hands up!
The supporter right now.
And the forwards not there for Royal. Two being on the bench. There's not much support. But they just managed to get it out. But this one is going to be a bit tricky for Royal.
Playing advantage. Not ball.
Not forward.
I have to actually disagree with Ravi's take on the Royal College grounds. Having played on this surface, it's not really fabulous when it's a bit overcast. Hassan, I think, losing his footing there. But the ground it's a very, very soft, and that doesn't make for good scrumming and also good stepping as it breaks up a lot. So it might be something that you need to look at just before the Asian, Ravi.
Shanakai, definitely, but if you look back at many years ago, it was in a very bad state, but it has been increased, but it has really improved. Leaps and bounds of the stadium came up, and of course I agree that there has been a soggy condition, but it's ideal for rugby, Shanaka. That's where Varnakula Surya breaks once more. Let's see whether Royal could make things working here. That's the centre three-quarter coming and hitting that gap.
But good pressure from Patana there, but Royal keep
That is
possession.
Bilal Hassan moving out.
The players are back on the park.
Not ball.
Skipper, the flanker, is back on the park now, out of the sin bin. So Royal back to full strength now.
I think both players should be back in the park because there was one guy who went earlier.
He should have been back sooner. All right.
I think he'll be penalized little, but I think the sentence was two more extended sentence.
Yeah, he was 3 and 2.
Maybe they switched.
Control.
I'll go instead of you.
Very true.
Down,
When it took the pitch the game marshal.
Hands up, hey,
That's
back.
Isipathana
Go outside,
play,
back.
typical
Go outside.
Isipathana play. They are feeding on the mistakes. They're very clever at this. You saw that little knock on and then they were there in numbers. And Royal
Good
paying
long
dearly
ball.
for that little mistake. And a lot of pressure on the
Oh!
This is the skipper who's on the field. I think it's Chandrika Gamage. And you can see why he's not in the starting lineup. Terrible bit of handling by him.
Okay. That's
Naren Dasan, mate. You need to get underneath the ball, and if you don't get underneath the ball, you're going to come up with stuff like that, and that's why you gave the advantage back to Isipathana. It's a very good kick, but it's an unforgivable error underneath pressure.
My apologies to Gamage, of course.
as you can see from the screen there, we are Isipathana on the 22 line almost. A great scoring position for them if they go on the blind. Yes, they are. And this is going to be a great try if they score that. What a try. Amazing. Good stuff by Isipathana. Short side.
Brilliant hands, unbelievable. Isipathana, and it's just right time.
No defense by Royal for that. They got all their 15 players back. No excuse for not being able to defend that.
It's a one-on-one situation, Ajit.
Yes.
I think that looked like a planned try, Ajit. If you say well organized try, if you could see the inside pass, all ready to take the pass with the number 8 there, ever ready to pick up on the fullback. That was the ideal try, Ajit.
And I think that's executed so well because Hisham Abdin used to excel in that, at that
Sajid
position.
Saranga. Thank you very much, says Sajid Saranga as he gets underneath the post. Look at the number 14. Keeps his composure. Good offload. Beautiful. Good hands by 15. Good pass. Nicely done. Fabulous support. And that's the secret.
And they tried this a couple of times earlier, working the short side like Ajit was suggesting. But that was initiated by the number 8. This time it was the scrum half that made the dart and put the winger through. And I think that paid dividends for them because as the conversion goes over, so another 7 points to the Isipathanans. It's 20 points to 7 at the moment. A Royal looking like they have a 22 points actually.
Time on your hands. You've got a good 20 minutes.
Ajit,
Anything can happen.
Ajit, being a number 8, that would have been an ideal situation, Ajit. There's a famous situation on the right flank,
I would
and you
love
go
that,
up, you know, you take the scrum half, and they just draw the defender either fly half or the scrum half, and swing the ball to the wing three quarter.
You can make it 1 in 3 situation if you execute it well, and that's exactly what happened there. You do it quickly, sharply. You do it on the gain line without taking the ball back too much, and you are through.
And what happened to the blind side winger? Why wasn't he across? What happened to the flanker?
I think he was drawn in by
He
the
was
scrum.
drawn in, Shan. It was the ideal situation. He had nobody. He had to take the wing trick, number 8 there.
Here's Dasan now having a go under his own post, trying to get out there from the 22. Royal a little bit rushed now, under pressure, I believe. You can see from the way they're running into each other. They're tending to go a little behind now.
Isipathana with their tails up, they're not going to stop here. I'm sure they'll keep on going at the Royal line, but again they are up against one of the top sides in Sri Lanka school rugby, Royal College, and these guys are also going to fight back. But what I believe here is that Isipathana got the confidence to go for more tries, and they'll keep on running Shan.
Absolutely, and Patana now with the psychological advantage plus the points on the board, which means they're razor sharp and they want to take this home. Royal, on the other hand, now have to play some very hard catch-up rugby, which means Ravi consolidating at the base, because they haven't done that as yet. We talked about Royal's advantage, but they really haven't shown that what they have.
The regular downfall has been because of the regular mistakes they have done, Shan. They have been guilty of many errors and they have been unable to get over it, and this has been one of the main factors for Royal not unable to get into an attacking situation. Let's see if they're inside the Isipathana half. Let's see if they could make something happen here.
Running out of ideas as well a little bit, Royal College run. They've started doing that so often and they have been guilty, but luckily not rolling away. No, going over the top, I think is
going over the
call.
top. What happened the last few times, the Royal player did not release the ball, and the penalty went the other way. But
this time he was obstructing the ball.
Yes. And he went over, and I think that's again it's very important that Royal realizes that. Just let it off and you get the penalty.
Absolutely.
Without holding on to it.
Absolutely. Play simple rugby. I think that would be the call for Royal College. Keep it disciplined, play it simple, play it hard. They're not doing that.
An ideal situation, Sean, for Royal to get back into the game. Let's see a line out ball. They are throwing. So they will roll over. They are done very well in that rolling ball. Let's see if they are successful once again in that.
Right. Okay.
Oh, they take the back peel as Warnakulasura takes it in. He's had a good game. Playing it nice and hard as number 8. Hassan, inside again. Good try. Oh.
What a great turnover by Isipathana.
Unbelievable.
Tremendous bit of burglary there. They just stole it. It's tremendous stuff by Isipathana. This is what they are famous for. They do it so well.
Number 17.
Absolutely. Protecting their line. And if you look at the stats on the board, Ajit, all through the season, they've only given 3 points away in all their games.
Yes, you can understand why. What great defense by Isipathana here.
Defending their line like their life is dependent on it. Good take. Lots of courage there from the Patana lads. The green shirts showing us how to defend your line. And that interesting stat, we'll try and get back to it. 63 minutes gone. We've got about 7 plus injury time left. 7 minutes plus injury time. Because as you know, the game is now 10-35. Because that's what the school season is. 22 plays 7. Singer Super 10 series on Sirsa TV, the home of live rugby in Sri Lanka. Possibly more rugby than anywhere else in the world.
That was a great shot of the turnover. Sumit Warnakulasura trying to score that try, just taken simply out of his hands by the number 12 for Isipathana. Wonderful bit of burglary, as Ajit called it, very appropriate term. The number 8 performing well under pressure. His scrum was going back, and he managed to get that ball out and set it up again. But once again, holding on, and Royal turning over.
That's the replay of that. So the holding on, Royal take the quick tap. Have they retained possession? Oh, very ugly at the base there. Oh, too far, methinks. Yes. I thought they should have run that, Ajit. They were in the 22. They were kicking into space with a no option story. Ravi, you're going to have to defend that kick, mate.
Yes, Tamashan, you mentioned the word catch-up rugby. And in catch-up rugby, you don't kick. You just keep running because you got to catch up the score. And if you kick, there is a possibility, unless it's a tactical kick, that you'll give possession away. And that was not planned. And that was just a lie. You're trying his luck. And you can't do that when you're behind.
It seems to have Royal are running out of options, Ajit. They seem to be under pressure, and they keep making mistakes at vital stages of the game. So let's see what happens here. They could create a situation here.
Good opportunity for Royal College. What will they do? Here's a chance for them to get some points on the board. Hands. Good load. Oh, no support on the outside. Where's their support run now here? There it is. Yes, very true. You have to move away. It's always a very difficult point for tacklers on the deck.
Royal three-quarter line is not very impressive. Ravi, they are not aligned properly, and they're not running into the ball. They're not making much, covering much ground. It's half pace running, and I think they're not really very strong with their backs.
They lack confidence, Ajit. They are not confident at all. When you see, they are a little shaky. That's why it seems to be a situation where let's see whether they could create an opening there. There seems to be a gap opened up, but unfortunately they all are not unable to maximize on that. They have
the
caught
cover
the game.
defense is coming across very fast.
The drift defense from Patana was very, very good. They covered all inside and out, and that's what good drift defense does. You take the numbers as it comes across. The referee has seen something he doesn't like.
It was a ball not coming out of the maul, actually, Sean, because it was taken in by Royal, and the tackler did very well to keep the tackled player up, and he protected the ball as well. He didn't let it come out, and obviously then the ball goes to the side that didn't take the ball in to the maul, who wasn't in possession.
Excellent crowd, generations, all kinds history is being made today, because grandfathers, fathers, sons are also playing. Whoa, whoa. Anything can happen now. Royal College have to punish Patana, but they don't.
oh, that's a penalty. It has to be a penalty because you are not allowed to throw the ball out. It remains to be seen whether the referee thinks he threw it out intentionally or whether it was a pass that went astray. That's a bit of a Nala Kavira Kodi kick on the full there. Knock on. And then he's not supposed to throw it out. That has to be a penalty, but I think they came back for the knock on first.
So very lucky. So referee goes with the first error.
Again, not in.
And that scrum from... tell me about the scrum, Ravi.
Yeah, you could see Sean, the Royal seemed to be having an edge over there. They seem to be wheeling that Isipathana scrum, and if it's a good situation, they could create an opening here. They could get a bad ball to the fly half, but you could see that the fly half has kicked under pressure into Royal defence.
This is a lateral run by the fullback.
He's running across. Unfortunately, he ran across from side to side without any options opened up.
Just going nowhere. He might have just put a little bit of a kick in and tried to chase it through, or taken it back into his forwards and tried to recycle that ball, but he's isolating himself, running completely away from his support and stepping into touch.
Asif Hussain under pressure, and he just kept going. There was nobody asking for the ball from him. And all he did was run into cover.
From the neck to the body. He got him on the neck, but he quickly transferred now. Now that's good tackling by Isipathana. He got his body, got his hand out of the way from his neck and brought it down. Ravi, that's good tackling.
Time is ticking.
Initially had it up there. 2 minutes ago, as Chandrashan says, and Isipathana leading 22-7 here in Colombo at the Royal College grounds. Great fight by Isipathana here, but Royal also gamely fought in this game. They were 2 men down for 10 minutes of the game. At the same time, 13 was playing 15, and at that time Isipathana scored once. So this is turning out to be one-sided at the end of the game, Chandrashan.
Absolutely, and there you go, the little kiddies coming on and saying, we can do it. And those are the kids who are going to run on a couple of years from now. They've got the camera and they know exactly how to react.
There were two good prop forwards there amongst those kids.
Yes, absolutely. Two good prospects. Somebody needs to take their name. But here's an opportunity again for Royal, for pride, not to win this game, but to get some points on the board, because those lads have worked so hard without much reward, and a few errors have cost them dear. But here's a chance now. Ball coming out. There you go. Not a pass that you really want, but well recovered by young Hassan.
And Royal players being guilty, Shanaka, being in their own territory, they're slipping and falling. So this seems to be unforgivable mistakes.
And there's the other Hassan taking it up the park. The number 2, the hooker, he's had a very good game. He has not given up,
Shan, he's a fighter.
Certainly hasn't. He's not got much of giving up blood in his system. He's got one of those never give up veins in his system. So good hands from the base. That's nice to see. Now you need to go after that ball. Put pressure, but he just kicked a little too far. And Pathana just do the logical thing, call for touch. They'll just suck in time now and finish it off, Ajit.
Actually, if I had to single out 2 players from the Royal side that have stood out, it would be Varnakara Surya and Bilal Hassan. Gaishan has had a good game as well, but been guilty of a bit too much indiscipline, I think.
Well, yes, he just couldn't get it right on the day, as Pathana just banged the ball under pressure and just wait for something to happen. And that's pretty much the requirement now. What are you doing, mate? You need to go down the park. You can't kick ball away like that. Going for the safe and double safe option. That's the story. 7 plays 22. The action here on Sirius TV was very straightforward. We expected a really hard crunching game, but actually Pathana came out and showed right from the outset. Ajit, talk us through the stats.
Yes, we see the possession going Pathana way, and naturally when you have possession you will score, but still it's just a slight advantage, but they made use of every ball that came their way. That's why the score was so far ahead territorially. Then as Hisham Ardem told them in the halftime lecture, get there and stay there. So they were territorially ahead there. So that's where we see the advantage. And then 7 points to Royal. One great try by Hassan, converted by his brother, and that's 7 points. And Isipathana with 2 goals and 1 try, scored thrice and 1 penalty. 22 points for Isipathana here, and they take the Milroy Fernando Trophy this evening.
We're going to go to a commercial break. If you've enjoyed our company, you'll enjoy our company a little bit longer. We've got some interesting interviews coming up. Royal versus Isipathana. We're just going to go to the highlights of this, the story at the Royal Complex, because I'll tell you, it was unbelievable. You couldn't believe what we saw right at the start with Royal College getting the early advantage. And young Hassan, look at this wonderful try they scored. And everybody expected that Royal would go from here and build on strength. But it didn't happen, did it, Ajit?
No, it didn't, because it looked like they could take control of the game if they played on with that style of play. But I think they got carried away, Shan. They tried to match Isipathana in their play and they forgot their patterns. They should have just stuck to the pattern that they were going to play. And we see Royal also coming up here. That's the intensity of the game. It's a brutal game in a sense. A lot of bruising tackles, but no one got carried away, injured. So that talks volumes of the technique that was employed by the players. And again, we see another passage of play here. You can see how you can see this try coming up. I believe, Chandashan, that would have been the best try for the day.
Absolutely. I've never seen anything so good in school rugby this season, because really it had all the elements. The ball was deep into Isipathana territory and they ran it out. Perfect hands, good balance, good vision. And then the number 13 running for that corner flag. Absolutely well done. And here's Royal College now with an opportunity. But look at how clever they are. And look at this tackle coming up from the fullback. Body on the line, you bet. Isipathana just outstanding today. And I think really it was a better team today that won Rump. You've got to give Isipathana that factor. Look at this try.
Definitely, Shan. Isipathana was the better side, and they were 3 quarters for the difference between the two sides. They were very much more talented and they looked much more faster to the ball. You could see there.
Excellent try, Ravi.
Yeah, excellent try. You could see the number 8 following the number 15 following up, and then you could see the pass to the number 8 who goes almost untouched. An ideal situation for an excellent number 8 break, Ajit.
Absolutely brilliant stuff from Pathana. Look at this slow motion replay. And in fact, that's the last movement, because Pathana just dominated play. Royal were guilty of errors. They were guilty of tackling the man rather than the ball, and that's why they sacrificed 2 off the park with yellow cards, and that Pathana punished all the way through. So what the story here is that we're going to hand over you, go down to Brian Thomas, because he's got a legendary Isipathana lad, and of course Sri Lanka's former captain, my good friend Hisham Abdin, who's going to talk to you about the story, and another interview after that with Pai Nari, the coach of Royal College. Enjoy. Thank you very much from all of us here. God bless. Good night.
Thank you very much indeed, Chandrashan. It's good night from you, man, but certainly not good night from me, because I got 2 exciting personalities to talk to. First, my co-host Roshan Barawala will be talking to the Isipathana coach Hisham Abdin, who needs no introduction. He's such a flower, I think, to the Isipathana side. He's from the depth last year into a champion-winning champion team. Now, even as I talk, you can see Isipathana taking away the trophy that's been awarded for this prestigious encounter. There they are. They played their hearts out, in fact. They were the superior side, no doubt about it. But the one thing that I must make mention is Royal is to blame themselves for their follies, because they had 2 of their players, key players, out with a yellow card, and they had to ultimately play with just 13. I wonder what their coach is going to think of what I've told when I interview him. But ultimately, Royal stayed in the park with 13 players, and when you're playing a top side like Isipathana, you need all 50 men in the park. So there is the victorious captain just about to carry away the trophy, as I welcome Roshan Barawala together with his guest Hisham Abdin.
සුති ජයග්‍රහයි සන්ධ්‍යාවක් සැබවින්ම ඉසිපතනය සහ රාජකීය අතර පැවති මේ තීරණාත්මක රග්බි තරගයෙන් ඉසිපතන කණ්ඩායම ලකුණු 22කට 7ක් වශයෙන් ජයවාර්තා කළා. මේ ජයග්‍රහණයේ පිටුපස සිටි ප්‍රධානියා මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ ජයග්‍රහයි ඉසිපතන කණ්ඩායමේ නායකයා රාජකීය ඉසිපතන විද්‍යාලාන්තර මහා රග්බි තරගයේ ජයග්‍රහකයන් පිළිබඳ කුසලාවේ සතුට දුක් විඳින ආකාරය. Go ඉසිපතන go ඉසිපතන go. හොඳයි අපි ඒ ජයග්‍රහයි මොහොතේ අපි සූදානම් මේ ජයග්‍රහණය පිටුපසින් නියමුවා ඔබට හඳුන්වා දෙන්න හිෂාම් ආබ්දීන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා කණ්ඩායම නායකත්වය ලබා දුන් හිෂාම් ආබ්දීන් අද ඉසිපතනේ ප්‍රධාන කරු හිෂාම් ජයග්‍රහයි සන්ධ්‍යාව මම හිතන්නේ වඩාත් සතුටුපත් වන පුද්ගලයෙක් ඔබ හිෂාම් අතරම තරගයේ ආරම්භයට පෙර ඔබ කොයි විදිහේ තරග සැලැස්මක්ද ඔබේ කණ්ඩායම ලබා දුන්නේ
සායන්ද දෙයක් නම් ප්ලෑන් කරන්න කියන්නේ मैच बाय मैच समय मैं गए थे रॉयल एनो रॉयल ए पैते नु तंबीर न गए रॉयल कोच थोड़ा මේකක් මේ ටීම් එකට හොඳ මේකක් පුහුණුවක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මම ඒක මැච් එක බැලුවා සෑන්ඩ් සෝල් පැක් එක හෙවි අපේ පැක් එක ලයිට් වුණාට අපි සෑන්ඩ් වර්ක් කරා day by day මේ hard fast and fit විදියට මම ට්‍රේන් කරා මේ පෞද්ගලික සීමාන දෙකේ.
හැබැයි ප්‍රථම උත්සාහක දිනුම රාජකීය කණ්ඩායම වාර්තා කළාන් පස්සේ තරගයේ පීඩනය ඉසිපතන විද්‍යාලයට යොමු වුණා. ඇත්තටම ප්‍රථම භාගයේ නිමාවත් සමග ඔබ අපි දුටුවා උපදේශ ගණනාවක් ඔබේ කණ්ඩායම ලබා දෙනවා. ඔබ මේ ගෞරවය ඔබේ කණ්ඩායම කාටද ලබා දෙන්නේ?
ඔක්කොගේ හැම දෙනාටම මම ඒ කියන්නේ හිතේ පූල් එකටම ඒක මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එක වාගේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ට්‍රේන් කරා මේ පෞද්ගලික සති දෙකේ. ඉතින් මට සෑහෙන්න අමාරුවක් තිබ්බා ටීම් එක 15 දෙනා කවුද ගහන්නේ කියලා. ඒක තමයි මට හුඟක්ම රැට ගෙදර ගියත් කල්පනා කරන්නේ කවුද මේ 15. මගේ ටීම් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ෆස්ට් හාෆ් සෙකන්ඩ් හාෆ්. ඒක තමයි අද මොකද අද කෙලින්ම ෆස්ට් හාෆ් ටීම් එක ගැව්වේ සෙකන්ඩ් හාෆ් ටීම් එක බැස්සුවේ නැහැ. ඒක තමයි මගේ
ඔබ ඇත්තටම දෙවන භාගයේදී කොයි විදිහේ දෙයක් බලාපොරොත්තු වුණාද ප්‍රතිවාදී කණ්ඩායම?
මම කිව්වා හදිසි වෙන්න එපා. අපේ තියෙන ටැක්ටික්ස් ඔක්කොම වර්ක් කරන්න කියලා. අද මට සන්තෝෂයි මම ටැක්ටික්ස් දෙයක් කියලා දුන්නේ ටැක්ටික්ස් දෙකේම ස්කෝර් කරා මට.
හොඳයි ශාම් අවසන් වශයෙන් මීළඟට ඔබේ තරගය කුමක්ද? ඉසිපතන කණ්ඩායම මේ වර්ෂයේ B කාණ්ඩයෙන් තරඟ වදින්නේ. ඔබේ අරමුණ කුමක්ද? මේ කණ්ඩායම කුමන තැනකට ගේන්නද ඔබ උත්සාහ දරන්නේ?
තව මට මැච් එකක් තියෙනවා 20 මැච් එක එන සීමානේ සෙන්සාද අපි බෝගම්බරේ කියලා. ඒ කරන්නේ ඉතින් අපි තව සල්ස්මක් දාන්න ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලෝ දැනුවත්. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ සයිඩ් එක හොඳයි. ඒ වගේම අපි උනන් දෙනවා මේ වගේ මීට වඩා ස්ටෑන්ඩ් මේක දෙන්න.
හිෂාම් ඔබ සූදානම්ද අද ඔබ අනුගමනය කරපු ටැක්ටික්ස් නැත්නම් උපක්‍රම දෙක හඳුන්වා දෙන්න මොකක්ද මේ අතරම ඉසිපතනේ ජයග්‍රහණයේ රහස?
ඒක කියලා දෙන්න එක හොඳට උනන්දුවෙන් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔළුවට ගන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මම කියලා දෙන අන්තිම විනාඩිය දක්වා මේ ෆයිට් කරන්න.
හොඳයි ශාම් අපි
ගෝල්ස් ටීම් එකට කෝටර් එකයි සුදාන් දෙනවා. හොඳ ක්‍රීඩාවක් අපි බලන්න ලැබුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ ෆස්ට් ටු ලාස්ට් කියන්න බෑ ටච් ඇන්ඩ් ගෝ ඊට පස්සේ අර ඒගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය වෙන යන කට්ටියක් ගියා ඒකම ප්‍රයෝජන ගත්තා.
හොඳයි හිෂාම් අපේ ඔබ විශිෂ්ට රග්බි ඉතිහාසයේ ප්‍රවීණෙක්. අපි ඔබ සුබතනවා ට්‍රිනිටි ඉසිපතන කණ්ඩායම තරගයට. බ්‍රයන් තෝමස් දැන් ඔබ සමග එක්ව වෙනවා. බ්‍රයන් ඔබට අවස්ථාව.
Thank you very much indeed. A jubilant Isipathana team. There we are posing for the photograph as I welcome the royal coach. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. You can't win them all, can you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right, now then look, I reckon that the Royalists were up there right at the start. They played at a very, very fast pace. But what actually went wrong? Vital mistakes, vital errors?
So today is about decision making, and we didn't make good decisions during the game. We didn't manage the ball that we had well. As a result, Isipathana did well. They made right decisions. They managed the ball that they had, and they played excellent territorial rugby. It's one of these sides that it's such an enterprising side, and on there they can cut up anybody. And today they cut us up.
I fully agree with what you say, but the disappointing fact is you had two of your three players being given yellow cards. Now, one of course was a late tackle. I mean, that was really too obvious. What is your view on that?
Late tackles, I'll leave that to the referee, and hopefully the referee is more consistent than what he has been today. However, whatever the call is, we need to be able to manage ourselves on the park. We didn't do that. Hence, we had to say no. And those Isipathana took the management, and that shows a team with a lot of
the same reason y'all could love me is the same reason y'all condemn me. A man's measured by the way that he thinks, not clothing lines, ice links, leather and minks. I spent 20 plus years seeking knowledge of self.
Well, it's not a bad score, but there are certain positives the Royals can take out of the win it, because we've got a big game coming up against the Lions. That's a Bradley Field traditional one, and I think you as a coach will be tested with your boys' skill there.
Absolutely. I mean, every game you go out, every game, and it's a test of where you're coming from, where you started from, and where you want to head to. And today is also was a test. And a test of character, a test of decision making, test of how to recover with such situations. So every situation is a test for myself as a coach and for these young men as a team. And obviously, the Derby itself would be a giant test for both myself and these group of young men.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us. I'll be talking to you during the Bradley Shield, the first leg and the second leg. Let me take this opportunity of wishing you all the very best. Enjoy a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much.
There we go. That was the Royal coach. I mean, a little bit concerned about what happened in the park today. But one thing is for sure, that he is a set of a coach. He was the coach of Laga, the famous Laga, as you know, the former Kandy player. And he seems absolutely focused that Royal can come back. Right, Sirasa TV, the home of rugby, will bring you live telecast all the way from Nittavala, from Bogambara up in Kandy, where St. Anthony's play against St. Peter's. And I'm sure you will be a part of that great game because both teams are playing in the A division. But I must make mention, congratulations Isipathana, you played very well. You've beaten Royal by 22 points to 7. And Royal, you did play very well. There's only one who can win a game, isn't it? And then today, Royal came second best. We hope you enjoyed our live coverage as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. I'm Brian Thomas, together with my co-host Roshan Watawala, signing off this beautiful day, beautiful evening from the Royal Sports Complex. And we look forward to your company at Bogambara next Saturday at the same time. Thank you and goodbye.